Holy shit. He was the one to crucify me upside down?
Looks like it, but in a way, it seems a little more humane upside down because you'll pass out from the blood going to your head before you die.
Anthony, shut up.
Honestly, Ron Rise just started out as a Walking Dead roleplay with me and my buddies.
Right.
Shut the fuck up, you idiot.
Alright.
You're the last person to talk.
Honestly, I wanted to do it. I kind of just dragged him along, but, you know, it was fun.
Oh, sorry.
So I'm guessing he didn't close the door behind him, so he's just gonna... Oh my god!
I don't know. Okay.
Stop
It
closing
genuinely
the door.
was one of the best times of my life as a teenager, making the Walking Dead Minecraft edition and then later Ron Rise.
Oh, okay. Well, hello there everybody and welcome to Walking Dead Season 1 Camp, where I build, whatever.
The Walking Dead Minecraft edition started out as something really small on a really bad PC running maybe 3 frames per second. It was mostly just building for fun. It was never meant to become a real series. At the time, it was honestly me trying to copy Uberhatcher Nova's Herschel's Farm series more than anything else.
Previously on Monkey Vision's Walking Dead Mega Build. For a reason. What reason? I want you to survive.
But over time, it slowly evolved into a roleplay of its own, with ridiculous storylines and characters like the villager governor. Stuff that was chaotic and silly and very much a product of that era. As we kept going, we eventually discovered Machinima.
Ah, die, you son of a bitch!
We got a 573 old man.
And that completely changed how we looked at the project. We tried to make Season 5 in that style, and while it technically worked, it also felt awkward and hard to take seriously because we were still trying to basically play versions of ourselves. I never felt like we could tell a story that was serious or the way we wanted to tell it. So eventually we decided to reboot it entirely, and that reboot became Rotten Rays. Yes, Rays. Before it later became Rotten Rise, which sounds a hell of a lot better.
We can't have it named The Walking Dead anymore, so we're using Rotten Rise, which is the name for one of my comics that I used to make. Made one issue and then I completely got lazy and stuff.
And somewhere in that process, we finally started figuring out what the story we actually wanted to tell was.
Mucho caliente, amigo. We want to kill her.
Alright, so see we set up a perimeter.
Yeah, I wouldn't...
At its core, it's honestly, Rotten Rise is just a story about survival.
This is Eddie reporting.
Which is generic to say about a zombie thing, but it genuinely is a story about survival. It's a story about how do we move on when the world becomes so cruel. And I guess it kind of comes in part because of the state I was as a kid. I was 16 years old and the world was starting to become a lot more real. I was still a 16-year-old and I was 2 years away from becoming an adult, and I didn't feel like I was becoming an adult. So Rotten Rise, in a way, kind of felt like me expressing myself growing up. Donnie was a teacher that was scared of the world changing, and he himself had to face the cruel realities of his world. Donnie feels like the most personal character I've ever created, mostly because for all my life, even now, it's been an expression of myself. How does one win a war? It's a question that, for the longest time, I thought I knew the answer to. A question for years I've passed down to each and every one of my students, preparing them for the day that they found themselves. When I was 16, I was scared of the world and becoming an adult, and I was told through Rotten Rise. Donnie was scared of the world and becoming cruel with the world.
Hey, Donnie, you alright?
Yeah, I'll be fine.
Season 2 came along. I've already experienced a lot of hardship in my personal life, and that was expressed through Rotten Rise, where the people you think are your friends might not be your friends in the end, and you kind of have to learn to move on from the relationships you already have, which was done in an extreme manner in Season 2. At first, I thought Rotten Rise was just going to be a generic Walking Dead thing. It was something I really was envisioning as a multi-season survival thing, that the cast grew larger and larger, and we got to witness Donnie's slow descent into madness. But as it went on, that's not the story I wanted to tell anymore. That was just a story that everybody was telling. That's the story everybody tells with the zombie apocalypse thing. And even though I'm not trying to say that I'm being unique with Rotten Rise, I'm definitely not. My stories have been told a million times, and they'll be told a million times after me. However, I wanted to explore new avenues with Rotten Rise. Do familiar things and then twist them in a new way for me.
Did what I had to. After everything, the last thing I wanted to do was pick up a gun again. So I chose familiarity, became a teacher, tried to help rebuild the world.
You think there's still hope for that?
And even now with the Revival series, it feels like it's me expressing being an adult and understanding that I need to move on from the things that I created as a teenager. And as we move to my retirement, Rotten Rise is kind of the same thing. It's Donnie now having the responsibility of a father, moving on from his past and moving on from the traumas that he had as a young survivor in the series, and now he's passing on what he learned to the next generation, and he's trying not to let them make the mistakes that he made. But mistakes are inevitable, and you just have to learn to roll with them. Rotten Rise changed me, not just as a creator, but as a person, by making me understand myself. It made me understand who I am. It was a mechanism to help me cope with my current reality, with the world that's changing around me. And when people finish Rotten Rise, I hope they come out of it feeling like we've witnessed the life of a character change, and you're not witnessing the zombie story where there's going to be a cure or the world is going to be saved. You're not witnessing a zombie story where they're facing a huge group. They're facing a slice of life of this universe, of this world, and you're witnessing Donnie evolve in it in a way that many of us might evolve in a zombie apocalypse. Genesis matters to the future because it's a reintroduction of Donnie and this story. As much as the revival is its own standalone story, and you don't necessarily need Genesis to understand the revival, it's a good way to get yourself familiarized with this character, and you'll get to witness what this character became later on, and watch him evolve and grow as a human in this zombie apocalypse.
Rotten Rise was one of the first machinimas I really got into. I remember watching it for the first time, being on the edge of my seat and thinking, how are Donnie and Eddie going to get out of this wacky scenario? And it's a very simple story about a man changing in the apocalypse, and I think the vibes and presence it gives off are just, it's so different from everything in the community. I think everything Rotten Rise does is what a machinima should do, and a lot of the times when I look back at every machinima, I look at Rotten Rise and I just think that that's the machinima to me. That's the one.
What I find honestly pretty admirable about Rotten Rise is the fact that you can almost see the journey Slightly Insulting has taken as a YouTube channel just by watching that series. Like the past 10 years is a lot of time, you know? To see a passion project, not even something commercial, go on for that long is impressive. Like, it shows actual passion behind the thing, actual dedication to creating a interesting story, a story that you want to share with people, a story that you want to expand and, you know, develop further and further. And I just think that's kind of cool. It's kind of awesome, you know?
Rotten Rise isn't your average zombie series, and I think if you couldn't tell by the content that's out there already, you'll see it in the Revival series. Rotten Rise just has so much to offer, and it comes from a place of love and passion for the world and its characters. And I think you'll have a really unique experience of the zombie genre when you see it.
I know what it means to Ray. I know that this series is unequivocally his baby. It's grown up with him. I remember him telling me that it was the first machinima that they ever truly made. It was the first machinima that they ever made with Blockbuster. Passion is one of the most important parts of creating art. And boy, does he have passion for this. He has drive. He has desire. He wants to see this through more so than anything I've ever seen, and I could not be more proud of him.
Rotten Rise to me is such a landmark of the channel. I think it's such a creative story with a lot of passion behind it from all points of it, from the writing and directing and everybody involved, and I think really just brings it to life in such a beautiful way. It's not just, you know, a standard zombie story, but it really has so many great twists and turns and things that truly make it stand out from the rest. It really is such a deep honor to be a part of it, to be with this wonderful cast and crew and everything, and to help bring the vision to life. It's very much the story about survival and humanity in its worst moments, but how there can also be beauty in the dark.
What I find genuinely really admirable about Rotten Rise is that you can practically see the journey that Slightly Insulting has taken just by watching that series. You can see how, like,